as I am trying to explain here, to my view, the Bible is just a book. The Quran is just a book. 7 books of the Buddha and all those other books, they're all books. If they've been generated as a result of one's state of vision or dream, or state of high form of spiritual thoughts, and that person decides to say, okay, I'll come up with an idea that generates those ideas and those presentations, and to sort of support whatever belief that person might have or experience that person that has gone through. And strongly the person believes that what experience he's got, or he or she has got, is honestly fact or true. When people dream, they really accept that. When people go through an experience, they have gone through it, so they truly embrace that experience as something, as a fact, something that is true. In the same situation, I'm trying to explain my personal account as well. So on that grounds, these books has come as a result of that. And so you cannot really have any solid physical backing of it in terms of the second person, to reveal it to the second person and say, okay, this is it. This is what makes me say that I am that or that, or this is the evidence to prove that this is that or that. Most of the time, all the evidence we prove regarding our faith and the God that we believe in, they are the everyday practical things we see before us. Your evidence is before everybody. Your evidence is clearly there for everybody to know. But people want solid evidence, means that something to sort of make claim of what you are claiming or you are believing. If you say God should be there to make claim that yes, I am. If, for instance, somebody tells me, or somebody tells you that he knows me, and mention my name to you, it has to be in that regard that I'm there to take the claim up and accept the belief and say, yes, it is me. I am the very person. I am the proof of the person's claim to you. And I'm a solid proof to that. If not, then it does not really make the person's message or sort of request very solid. It will be just normal words that the person has put forth. So that said and done, I want to really open up that somehow all the personal account experience I've put forward, that I've addressed, is also to suggest that, let's say today, if I was to fall down, get sick, or go through some ill health experiences that may lead to the craziness of what I've seen people that I said who normally surrounded me at that time with this raggy nature looks or crazy nature, and presented themselves in a crazy state, and they sort of appear in that manner. And my suspicion of them being some sort of vessels, some evil or bad vessels in certain ways, if I ever to fall into such a situation, I sort of believe and think that it's because of the experience I went through. Anything that is horrible and bad and unacceptable, or something which is resented or not loved so much or embraced today in our way of life, or shown as something which is progressive and good, ends up happening to me, then I relate it to that issue, the experience I went through. It may be whatever way anybody might think of, but that it. And if I suddenly die, death is there for me anyway. But it also happens that people die through intentional acts of others. Normally we'll say he died before his time, in that sense. That if I was supposed to die or I was supposed to fall off, I will relate it to the same incident that happened. I believe that I would have probably lost my life earlier when it happened, but somehow my resistance and something really triggered and kept me going till this this day, this moment. Because every time I have slept with no soundness of sleeping, it's like you seeing that death is right there at the door, waiting to pick you. I remember seeing one guy right at Lincoln coming straight to me. Was he riding a bike or something? Yeah, coming straight to me with this bright halo light around him. He just came close to me, and he was a black guy. We will come and pick you tonight. That was his words. We will pick you tonight. And I was wondering, what is he picking me tonight for? Is it a job? But I didn't know anything about somebody telling me somebody will pick me tonight. And at that point, I have lost getting back to the location that the residence that I was in. That's my brother's current wife's place. I was lost. I was going around. I couldn't find a place. And when I finally found it, getting close to the residence, this guy just approached me and said this to me: "We will come and pick you tonight." Now, why would he pick me tonight? What was he picking me for? I was just looking at him. I couldn't answer. I couldn't say anything. So I just looked at him, and he was a bit confused. He was, now didn't know if I was the right person, and he was now clicking on his mobile, something like that, and he stood there and I just walked past him. I think not too long ago, my wife's either sister or something was coming along and said, "Hey, here you are." I said, "Yeah." Then we sort of walked home, and the guy just split and went his way, and I went with him, So funny things has happened, strange things that I didn't have understanding with. I even went to one job center looking for a job at Lincoln, and people came around there. All of a sudden, they were just looking around. They would say, we can't find him. And I felt that it was me they were looking for, and they can't find me. I wanted to say, I'm right here, but I couldn't say that. Maybe they were looking for somebody else. But they were just, going around and they can't find me. I said, what are these people out there for? Now, it sounds very crazy and not sound and not right. I know that. They don't really click together from what I'm saying. But that was what was happening. And in my conscience, in my brains, that was how I was reacting to it. I may not be maybe verbally reacting in the sense, but I am now expressing what my thoughts were and my feelings were at that time and what I was going through. And as far as I can see, they were real. They were very real. It was like sleeping walk are real at that instant. When you're sleepwalking, it's real. Something similar to that. They were very, very real to me. And I could link it up to anything, and I could hold on to that, because these things never used to happen that way, that serious. But it was more serious and more, it's like you being in a territory. You being in a territory where something is happening to you. Your suspicion has always been there, but now it's like you're in a territory, and now it's closer and things are happening to you directly. Direct effects. Now I didn't expect it. I didn't welcome these things, but they happened. In a way, I still sometimes blame myself. And I remember coming back on the train. Also, this guy who sat by me, huge guy, a little bit, not too huge. He was, and I felt somehow I had to pray most of the time. Normally, I used to use my Lord's Prayer. And I prayed that a lot of time. And when I start praying that, he just goes to sleep. And then when he stops, we start talking. And sometimes, I also doze off a bit. Maybe he also prays or says something and I doze off. I don't know. Whatever, we're two with different faith. But he looks like he had more of an Islamic background or something like that. But I couldn't tell. I didn't even ask or inquire. When we got off from Victoria, he took off. He went his way. I went my way. But there was a sense of fear that something might happen to me all the time. That was one thing why I left Lincoln as well. I couldn't keep on working. I felt as if there's a plot that something might happen, something terrible might be wanting to happen to me. I didn't like the environment. I didn't like what I was feeling, the sense that I was having at that instant, especially what I've been through and that. And the few people I told the story, their reactions and everything, like, what can they do? They can't.